Phase 2, but have been skyrocketing up here ever since. Mifflin, A or B, Sanguine Renegades, who do you like in Game 1?
We certainly are. Thank you, Dolson and Mifflin on the desk. Sanguine yet again coming away with a strong draft. Make sure you keep your eye on chat. That poll will be coming up, so vote in it. But, Aggro, we got to go over...
It's not like there's a whole lot of weak laners that you get to go up against, so you can throw your hands up and go, oh, unlucky for Ro that he's up against Yarkor, who, by the way, is super underrated. I don't think it's easy ever.
Panatom is here. That's why Rongi was getting aggressive, and Barracuda will fall for first blood. Sanguine already on the board. They won't commit for awesome Jake. But I love that synergy that you see from Sanguine. That's why Rongi's... This is what I think is going to be important for Sanguine going forward, right? Because I do think there's been a small bit of weakness there in terms of what can Panatom play. I feel like he hasn't always looked the best on the current meta picks, like the Nemesis he struggled, but he can look strong on things like this. Volcanic Lightning getting blocked, and that makes the team look stronger. Doesn't matter, though. They get both the kills over there in the long lane, and this is what I'm talking about. If they're going to continue to look this strong with Panatom on some... When Shinto gets ganked, has gotten 2 kills over in the long lane and helps gank solo. This could make Sanguine, paired with their different god picks, a really strong team. As Netroid nearly falls, there's the Sanctified Field to lock him down, so he has to go up into the ult.
And he's still in trouble, even when he comes down. Barra waiting for some CDs, but Jake is going to be the one to make sure he gets it.
And gets him back up from Lasbra. That is critical. Means that Jake is not going to fall for it on the backside. And this is huge from Renegades to be able to push back this aggression over on the left-hand side.
At that range, Rongi leaves, and Netrio decides, yeah, I could step up and hit the gas pedal a little bit here. And of course he's going to get instantly punished.
Well, the ultimate from Shinto only gets banned. Rongi drops in too, but Panatom has the damage, and Awesome Jake will eventually end up falling just later on over in the middle.
Really hard. The only thing is that your objective damage goes down as opposed to the crit build in this manner, but hold on, Shinto in trouble. Double ults right on his head.
But get some help from Rongi providing the shielding, and that is enough for Shinto to make it out. The dive from Lasbra is not going to be enough. No, he does get the kill on the Shinto, but Panatom answers back away. So 1 for 1, a lot committed from both teams, but Renegades do manage to shut Shinto down, and Van is still up farming, but looks like no. Panatom helps with the clear. They secure the Totem of Ku. Blue buff already down, so that won't be there. But now with the minion wave under tower, they are going to go for the dive. After all, Ro has the shield going. They've made sure Yarkor is the one taking the tower. And with no mana, there's no way Ro makes it out. A well-executed dive, but now it's just a question of can they get out. Panatom does take some tower shots in the end. It looks like Renegades want to try and commit.
And that is exactly what you have to worry about when you've got Ro, a good player in the grand scheme of Smite, a very good player. But SPL caliber, probably not. Not with how strong the SPL is these days. Just makes a series of bad decisions on where he wants to back. As soon as you're out of mana like that, you just got to go all the way back behind your tower and stick it, even if you don't have teleport. And then it's, well, I don't want to lose the tower, but now you will, and you'll lose Lasbra for it as well.
And really not much Jake can do with this ultimate. Sanguine will come over and take the blue buff. Really no one who can rotate over to stop.
Kill, even if it buys you a ton of space, which it did there for Barracuda, and stops the team fight from going poorly, which it did. That's just not going to be enough to win a game. You need those Sanctified Fields to be absolutely huge if you're going to win a game like this.
Lasbra goes in aggressively. They have the numbers advantage with Venenu here as well, but Yarkor gets the first kill of this engagement. Panatom takes some damage from the tower. I think the only reason that he dies there is Yarkor gets the double. They win the 2v3. It's a 3-for-1 in favor of Sanguine. Yarkor makes sure that he gets the tier 1 tower, dashes out perfectly, and I don't think we've given this solo laner quite enough credit in the past for how well he's played, but looking good for Sanguine here now.
And Barracuda not looking so good on the receiving end. Shinto's able to set that one up easily with his ultimate. Jake does have that watery grave, which should buy him at least a little bit of space. Pridwin's still there. But man, it's
He's up recognizing the Netroid's on the way, has to drop the cage to get out of there, and Yarkor keeps 2 members busy. Barracuda won't even come to this. He's pushing over in the left. Meanwhile, Lazarus going on the long time flank along the backside of the fight. Fire Giant low now, down to about 3,000. Lazarus still holds his positioning. A blink in from Jake. Renegades want to strip this one away, but Netroid gets the kill. Renegades take the Fire Giant. Sanguine couldn't secure it, but what about the fight on the backside? Rose right in the thick of it, and he's low. Netroid cancels the ultimate right away in order to disengage. Renegades have held on here in this fight so far, and Barracuda is still threatening and left. He's almost got a Phoenix as Panicom takes care of it.
Big heal from Rongu makes Lazara reconsider what he wants to do in this fight. Good beads, though, from Lazara. Blows up Shinto, and Netroid could be next, but just a little bit too much damage coming from the rock.
And now Barracuda might have overstayed his welcome. Definitely not going to get the left side Phoenix. Uses the Sanctified Field to guarantee his exit, but guarantee might be too strong a word. Wrong U is on the way. The knockup there, but a good bead from Barracuda means he does live through the knockup, but maybe not such a good bead there from Barracuda. I doubt he'd survive there ever.
Barracuda on that left-hand side. Doesn't mean that the Renegades are back in this one. Frankly, they aren't. They're still going to be down 10k after this Oni Fury, unless Venenu can be the hero again. He's the one who stole fire. Oh my.
And looks like he is. He steals the Oni. Venenu doing it all for Renegades. It's just a matter of, is it enough? He will pay for it. Netroid gets the kill. And what about the rest of the Renegades on the backside of this? Because Sanguine are moving in aggressively. Good ultimate from Jake gets him out of there. Road drops the cage and just barely gets the leap. But the flow over the wall comes through from Netroid. Panatom has the damage. And Ro falls as well. That's two members of Renegades now down. And Rongu wants to get aggressive. Goes into the ultimate to bring them in with shields to burn down the middle Phoenix. And this is the work of that lead, even with Venenu making some... Has the Frostbound. You heard them talk about back in set one, forces Lazara into the bat out of hell, but then can't come over to help. Sanguine are at their doorstep, putting damage to the right side Phoenix. Jake now has a Yarkor-shaped problem behind him as Rose steps in with the cage. That does lock in two members, but one wall already down. Good damage from Vera means Wrong U is down to half, but the Phoenix looks worse for wear. The snipes coming out from Netroid connects with two, and Vera looks a little worse for wear. Meanwhile, Yarkor is still in the backline, causing problems. Now Netroid steps forward. Right side Phoenix falls. Yarkor gets the kill onto Lazara and still stands tall. Mid-Phoenix already down as well, and there's Shinto's ultimate finally to lock down one more member. That's Ro barely making it back to the fountain, but Sanguine continue to just wreak havoc here in this first game up against Renegades.
Sanctified Field not going to get a whole lot of value there for Barracuda. Speeds him up a little bit, but Panatom not to turn.
No, he's looking for the turnaround, wants to move back in, and Ro is stuck on the front line. Netroid chews through him easily, chews through Venenu as well for the double kill. Yarkor takes care of Barracuda, and that is certainly all she wrote. Awesome Jake cannot defend this on his own, and Sanguine, to no one's surprise, takes care of game number one here against Renegades.
Exact same thing that we saw from Panatom last game. Early aggression, early duo lane ganks. If it is Olarun in the duo lane, that means that Pele is going to have essentially a free gank at least until level 5, which she should...
Thanks, Dolson and Mifflin. Renegades perhaps coming away with a stronger draft this time. Have the Persephone, the Jingwei, the Pele, some strong picks on their side, but this gives us our chance to talk about Ardia. We have not seen her a ton since she and Hera were allowed again to be played Panatom on this set, because we don't see Set jungle that much anymore. We saw him a little bit. He had his time in the sun as like a Set ADC pick, but maybe we'll have to wait. Lazara getting aggressive. Lazara finding first blood, blinking in, taking care of Shinto on the Olarun to get Renegades on the board first.
And Shinto, with that Boots 3 start, he started in base, just walked over and walked past speed to leash it there. Means that all the poke that he eats is going to be really, really effective. Because the
core. So just about every other pick you have is going to look good in that situation. I'm right there with you. So Sanguine are going to need to show us an ability to make some adjustments as they're suddenly down about 1,000 gold here in the early game. Still all level 4. All those ultimates starting to come available for Renegades. I think they want to get aggressive with it. It's Jake moving in first. They've got the gank coming in from Lazara. He goes directly for Netroid. Gets the kill as well. It's Awesome Jake that gets the credit for it. But now Renegades have gotten 2 kills in a row. The early game looking much better this time. easily, as he has not had to contend with the enemy jungler at all. And we might get to see the fruits of those labors a little bit later, but Lasbra is here this time. He knew exactly as you did that they want to come gank solo. The ultimate is out from him, as well as the ultimate's out from Yarkor, and that's big damage coming out from him as well. But Awesome Jake comes topside. Whirlwind of Rage and Steel grabs Yarkor and brings him back, and there's the Grasp of Death. It does catch on to Yarkor, but Sanguine have 4 members on this side of the map. Sanctified Field locks in row. They will get no further pressure off of it, but Sanguine respond nicely and find themselves a 1-for-0.
Indisputable fact. You're hoping that the team environment will be good enough that that won't end up mattering.
Well, Pyromancer from Sanguine would be the response to the Gold Fury taken a minute ago from Renegades, but Ro and the rest of Renegades are here. In fact, the objective gets dropped completely, and now it's this battle. It's a scrap instead. Ro gets caught out early on, takes some damage, but they return a good bit back Wrongyu's way. And now Awesome Jake blinking in, Whirlwind of Rage and Steel gets some beads out as well. So Sanguine a bit on the retreat, but now the Sanctified Field has everybody in it. Venenu just doesn't care. Meltdown Shinto. Ro getting one on the board here. The SPL takes care of Yarkor as well, and that's our Pyromancer. Renegades not ready to go just yet.
Looks like Renegades have found themselves a beautiful win. Sanguine, I mean, they just don't have great secure on their team. Who is the most burst damage for Sanguine? A multi-clone skewer. Oh, Shinto in trouble already. Lasbra's was great.
And there's another Whirlwind of Rage and Steel. Venenu gets the kill. Lasbra gets the second as Wrongyu joins Shinto in the afterlife. That should spell a mid-tier 2 tower for Renegades, though. Set is still lurking over the wall, piloted by Panatom. They cannot quite stick around for the mid-tier 2. They're so low, and look at this. Netroid never rotated. He's continuing to put
on a weird call by Sanguine, in my mind, to try and commit to that. And then they keep on going. I love the way they're playing.
Could be some trouble for Venenu. Dazzling offensive forces out the beads, and Shinto will get the kill credit there, so that's just Venenu getting caught out. But as only Persephone can from the afterlife, posthumously, he drops the ultimate. Locks down Yarkor for a moment, but they don't have the damage to take him.
Be a little bit earlier than they wanted to.
Sanguine still looking aggressive. Now they're pushing down the mid-tier 1. Sanguine just want to group up and fight over something. At least that's what it feels like from where I'm sitting. Panatom takes quite a bit of damage, but not nearly as much damage as Ro in the back of the fight. Netroid with the snipe puts on the scope, takes care of Ro pretty easily on the backside of the fight. So now they got the 5v4 advantage, but they only have ultis for Panatom, Shinto, and Wrongyu. I think Sanguine recognized it, backing up and just taking their picks. I think this is how Sanguine planned to get back in, forcing down objectives, taking picks, and not fighting Renegades on even ground. He better make sure it's for show. I don't know why I felt like I had to keep the rhyme going. Sanguine have the Gold Fury down to half, and they pushed forward a couple of members to start enacting a bit of a zone. This is Oni Fury, by the way. I misspoke there a moment ago, so this could provide some map pressure for whichever team grabs it and a chance to start looking to push. Renegades now the ones in control. Oni Fury low yet again. Being reset, though, back up to half, but Jake is moving in, has some backup from Lasbra as they want to get it on the backside, but in the front, it's Wrongyu that's low. Barracuda takes care of him as Netroid gets the double. That's Ro and Lasbra. They take a seat in a coffin as Sanguine get 2 to start the fight off. And Jake is low as well. Panatom gets aggressive. Whirlwind of Rage and Steel does grab him, but it's a triple as Netroid shuts down Barracuda. Yarkor takes care of Venenu as well, and suddenly, all at once, it's a collapse, a catastrophe for Renegade. A 4-for-1 in favor of Sanguine.
And so far, it has been so good for the Renegades, but it only takes one fight where your backline dive is not in sync perfectly. Both Ro and Lasbra jam themselves into a Sanctified Field, and they just get absolutely decimate Renegades in the team fight.
And what's interesting is Renegades have always kind of struggled at that moment, right? Just beyond the 20-minute mark. As Venenu should be able to get to safety. He sure can. Yarkor catches him out in the middle lane, walks him down with a Frostbound Hammer, and Venenu, that's the ultimate, and his life on cooldown as Sanguine do a great job punishing him there, and that just can't afford to happen. Making some damage. Dazzling Offensive does lock him down. He's down to half, but 4 members of Renegades defend in mid, so they step up and right, do Sanguine for a little bit more damage, but even still, struggling to really find any purchase. But now they're all in committing here in mid. They bring it down low as well, but they cannot commit to actually take the structure, and they're very low on the backside. That's why Renegades are pushing. Shinto drops his ult, but the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel gets 2, brings everybody back towards Renegade's base, and that means Shinto is low in a bad part of town. Venenu gets 1, Jake gets the other, and this push for Sanguine gets absolutely stuffed.
Netrioid trying to trade it out because he knows he's dead to rights. Gets the Aegis from Barracuda, is going to be able to kill him. That one last auto on the drop down actually ends up getting the kill. So 1 for 1 in terms of ADC, but you lose both Shinto and Panatom. Fire up Phoenix a little bit easier.
Well, it's Sanguine coming out to start up this objective. They are still a bit in the lead, but certainly not anything to where they should feel like this is theirs for free. But they got here so early. Maybe if they hadn't peeled off, it would already be done. But they're able to get the objective anyway. Sanguine take the Fire Giant. Way up near the front of the fight, though, Shinto takes a bunch of damage, and Venenu takes care of him. Lasbra gets Netroid, but Panatom gets the return kill, at least 1. But Venenu gets a double. Suddenly things are looking great for Renegades. Only Yarkor and Wrongyu, only the front line left. And they don't even have Wrongyu, a triple for Venenu. But there's so many towers up here, aggro. Is this enough for the counter end?
It should be. I mean, they've got 40 seconds on Shinto, but they don't have a wave coming.
Time.
Their front line is going to really struggle to withstand this damage because they don't have fire. This is going to be close, man. I'm not sure. I'm really not.
It is indeed going to be close, but it's a long time before backup is here, 20 seconds at most, and Yarkor is not even going to force his way out. That Phoenix is done, and he knows it. So Renegades have a ton of time to use to try and take care of this Titan. Dazzling offensive does manage to lock down one with the stun. Yarkor takes care of Barracuda, and that really should be enough. That's all their sustained damage. Yarkor and a hell of a set, standing tall underneath the Titan.
Yeah, imagine thinking that's going to work against Yarkor. By the way, he got the Phoenix in mid with his push earlier. Perfect play from him. That's just, you want to talk about how hard it is to know exactly what to do in a situation like that. Yarkor played that to literal perfection. I don't think there's anything he could have done better. Not a single thing. That was insane. It gets the mid Phoenix, defends, kills Barracuda, it opens up the door for Sanguine to be the one surging forward.
Well, earning some of that praise we were talking about earlier. Venenu using the point-blank grasp of death does end up hitting the wall. Get some good damage on the Shinto either way, though. But now Panatom getting in close to one of the backline carries, takes care of Venenu easily, and is even going to be able to keep up the chase here onto Lasbra. Good use of this watery grave, keeps him close. It's so much disruption. He finally is able to get that ultimate off to disengage, but Yarkor is in left, bringing up a minion wave to threaten the left side Phoenix. The rest of Sanguine are in right to threaten there. They're stretching this map out, and once again, Renegades don't have Venenu.
Barracuda's got to try and take the 1v1 up against Yarkor and left. I don't really like the 8 there.
Shinto drops down the ultimate. That does help them lock down one. Whirlwind of Rage and Steel to control Wrongyu, but the right side Phoenix cannot stand. Barracuda gives up and left. That means Yarkor takes that Phoenix, and just like that, Sanguine have all 3 Phoenixes down. Netroid blows through Awesome Jake. It's a double as he takes care of Lasper too. Keep bringing them to him because he's got plenty of autos. The Row is the only member left. Barely gets back to the fountain as Barracuda over in left tries to keep out the minion wave, but Sanguine slowly over time whittled down Renegades, and now they're firmly in control.
Barra just does it. I don't even think he fired an auto there. He's basically dead already. Yeah, you're either going in or you're not. And Barra got caught in between and gets flattened for it.
Well, Shinto gets the double. Venenu respawns, does get the kill on the Wrongyu, but look at the Titan aggro. Look at the Titan. It's so low. Venenu does get the double. This should keep Sanguine out of the base, at least for now, but look how low they're. Want to make sure they have every advantage before they push in, but look at Renegades. They don't want to give this up for free. They're pushing out at least a little bit. They don't have Lasber here, but they want to be near the Fire Giant. Awesome Jake blinks in, but much too early. I don't think you realize that they really weren't that close to finishing it at all. So Jake ends up kind of wasting the blink. Meanwhile, Wrongyu so tanky that he's able to push forward through it all. Venenu dies very early on. Netroid is low as well. Has to use the ultimate to get away, but has Shinto there to provide him some cover. Panatom, the late game, finally outputting some damage. And it's Row that has to get an up close and personal look at it. At this point, that is the end of this game. Barracuda is not going to be able to defend the Titan all on his own.
No beads for him, no ultimate. This would be the best defense we've seen in a year filled with insane Titan defenses. Don't think it's going to happen for the man.
And Yarkor, just making sure that that's not even a thought in our head, pushes Barracuda all the way back into the fountain, still taking a ton of damage, as he does get the kill on the Yarkor at the very least, but that's about all. Not much consolation as Sanguine 2-0 take care of the new